Yo, this is Alan Fenstermaker here with another exciting episode of Top Rope TV. This week we had the honor and the privilege to cover modern vintage wrestling. Maximum effort. But without further ado, let's get to our first interview with the daughter of death, Adrianna. So let's get right to it.
This is Marvelous Mike Dalton here, and right now I have with me the daughter of death.
Hi.
Welcome.
So I've watched Gabby throughout the years. She's a pretty girl. She's got a lot of talent, been on ROH. But for one thing that she doesn't know is I come from a bloodline of people that beat people down. I come from Rikishi, the Wild Samoans, Samu. She can't compare to me.
Just want to know, how long have you been doing this?
So wrestling, just about over a year. I've been in the business for about 3.
Well, how do you like it so far?
I'm definitely loving it. I had a couple setbacks in the past few years, but I think now my career is going on to a sky high.
That's some pretty awesome stuff. Any memorable matches or any opponents that you like beating up?
I would have to say my favorite was Riley Crow. Back when I first started, she was just an easy beat down because she's just trash.
Well, you know what? It's been a pleasure and an honor to have you here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And this is Marvelous Mike Dalton, the daughter of death. Thanks for tuning in.
That was a great interview. Thank you, Adrianna, for doing that interview, and thank you, Marvelous Mike Dalton. That interview did equal ratings. But up next, an interview I did with Maven Bently. So let's get right to it. Yo, this is Alan Fenstermaker. I'm here with Maven Bently. How are you doing today, Maven?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on Top Rope TV, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Now, how'd you get your start in the wrestling business?
It's just like everyone else. I was a big fan when I was a kid, and it was actually a wedding gift from my wife. Right before we got married, she introduced me to Zandig. I had been doing a wrestling show like yourself, kind of a talk show type thing. I just finished my master's degree, and I wanted to do something stupid. So Zandig decided to show me how to take bumps, and after a while, he decided, you know what, you got a master's, why don't you be my business partner? And that's how I ended up being the vice president of CZW, now the president.
Okay, now, what are some of the highlights that you have of your career?
Oh, man, highlights of my career. I think it's cool to be the... I've done more shows in the ECW arena than anyone else, including Paul Heyman. That's pretty cool. I think what's actually the most cool for me is seeing guys like John Moxley, guys like Drew Gulak, guys like Drake Younger, guys that I had a part of helping their career make it to that top level. I think of Adam Cole. I was the first person to ever bump for Adam Cole. I was managing a bad guy in a match, and Adam came up and cracked me one, and it's the first guy to ever go down for him. So I think the most impactful thing to me is helping those guys. And then, of course, for people who have followed me for years, I used to do a lot of charity shows. Those things really mean a lot to me when I'm able to give back to somebody who needs help, whether it be I've done things for wounded veterans, done things for Multiple Sclerosis Society, folks with fibromyalgia. There's all kinds of charity stuff. Really means a lot to me, too. Okay. Now, what's your favorite era or time period in wrestling history? Man, that's a good question. So, I'm going to cheat, because I have multiple favorites, but I can tell you what made it my favorite. I loved the kayfabe era, just because it was believable. When fans still believe, they're willing to give you more money. Because they want to pay to see you get beat up. So I love that. I was a big fan of the 80s with the explosion into pop culture, partially just because as a wrestling fan, and I literally watch any wrestling. I watch sumo wrestling. That's how much wrestling I watch. It was great to see other people enjoy something that I've loved since I was 5 years old. And of course, like everyone else, I love the Attitude Era as well. I would say, though, for me as a person, what I also really loved was the early 2000s, because for me to get to meet all of the people I used to watch on TV, traveling the world with Blackout, then with DJ Hyde and the NBA gimmick and Brain Damage and all that stuff, that was really cool too, because I not only got to see the people that I used to enjoy working with, or used to enjoy watching, I got to start working with them and learning from them, which was really cool. Okay. Any names in particular that you looked up to in the business that made you want to get into the business? Yeah. Big shout out to all the Samoans. I mean, I'll tell you one of the highlights of my career, and I'll admit this on camera for the first time. It was a little mark-out moment. I was down in Mineola, Florida with Alpha the Wild Samoan. I was staying at his house because he brought me in when he relaunched WXW in Florida. He's like, I need you to help me out, run the backstage, be my ring announcer, blah, blah, blah. So I was doing that, and, we're at the house after the show, and there's all the local boys are there. Then Haku walks in, and then, The Rock is there, I'm like, then the Hart family walks in, and I'm sitting like, I'm in the house of the Samoans and the Harts. Oh, so that's like a little 12-year-old girl moment for me. But yeah, it was really cool. It was really nice to see those people there. Really nice that The Rock, he actually came for Tamina's first match when she was in WXW. To see him support family was really cool. Big superstar like he was to come see, his cousin's very first match. Okay.
Now, what did you think about The Rock when you first met him? And what kind of person is he like in real life?
I mean, he's The Rock. He's exactly, so at least to me, funny Rock stories. We're all backstage saying, hey, Dwayne, nice to meet you. Hey, Dwayne, nice to meet you. And, he was eating like this little thing of chicken and broccoli or whatever. And, he goes to I think he throws a little bit of it out. And one of the boys who will remain nameless for this show goes and tries to pick it up. I don't know if he's trying to eBay The Rock's chicken and broccoli or something. And The Rock sees him and goes, are you taking The Rock's chicken and broccoli? The Rock says, you jabroni, he goes and he cuts this promo on him, and I'm peeing myself laughing. I mean, he's just such a fun guy. And even the best part of the show is Alpha's asking him, please go out there and smell what The Rock's cooking and say hi. This is an indie show. And The Rock's like, I'll do it, Uncle Alpha, but I really don't want to be ringside because the whole family was sitting ringside to watch Tamina's first match. He's like, I really feel if I do that, I'm going to take away from the show. Because, people are going to be looking at me and chanting Rocky and whatever and not looking at the fan, looking at the ring. So it was really cool of him to have that self-awareness, that he would take away from the show. And he's always, he's in the locker room and cares everyone say, you guys don't want the show tonight, not me. I'll come make an appearance and say hi, but you're the show. So really humble dude, really nice guy.
Now, you said also you got to meet the Hart Foundation as well down there. What was that like?
I mean, it was really cool. Again, it was more just, be honest, more of a mark-out moment than anything. I didn't spend a lot of time talking to everybody because there were so many people there. I actually spent more time talking to Diana Hart, British Bulldog's widow, and their daughter, talking about Harry going to the WWE, and just great down-to-earth people, really really nice people. Okay,
awesome, man. Now, do you have anything you'd like to plug at all or anything, or?
Well, just please check out czwstudios.com. Everything CZW has pretty much ever done, as well as WSU and a bunch of related promotions, Freedoms, Big Japan, all kinds of stuff on there. And I also would, if I can give a different plug of a different kind, as you know, I'm big into charity. Please, whatever floats your boat, whatever you believe in, give $1 or $2 to a charity. It's really important. I personally do a lot of work with an organization called First Up. FirstUp.org is their website. They work on preschool education, trying to make sure kids are ready for kindergarten, because what we find out is that if kids aren't ready for kindergarten, they tend not to be ready for third grade. If you don't level by third grade, you're less likely to graduate high school and more likely to become a criminal and not be able to hold a job. So I really want to see people help kids, help the disabled, help folks who need it. So if it's not First Up, find something that you care about and help it out.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Man. Thank you, Maven, for doing that interview. But up next is an interview I did with Gabby Ortiz. So without further ado, let's get right to that interview. So this is Alan Fenstermaker here on Top Rope TV. I'm here with Gabby Ortiz. How are you doing, Gabby?
Oh, I'm good today. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, how was your match tonight?
It was a tough battle, but I came out on top. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be an exciting time to be in the wrestling business now, like with the women's division booming. Do you have any inspirations when you become a pro wrestler?
Yeah, so I really always looked at AJ Lee's matches because we're like the same size. So I take a lot of what she did and I apply it because it was very effective when she was in WWE. So I feel because we have similar body types that I'll be able to use her stuff. And I always, of course, I loved Lita and Trish Stratus, all those girls from the Attitude Era that basically paved the way for us.
Okay. Yeah. Now, do you have a specific favorite time period in wrestling?
I think right now is where it's at. I think when we're going to look back in about 10, 15 years, we're going to look at this time in pro wrestling as the best, especially for the indies. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Now, What kind of training in particular did you do?
Yeah, so I trained at the world famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey, and now I currently train with Cheeseburger from ROH at the Worldwide Dojo in Bristol, PA.
Okay. Yeah, what's it like training with ROH?
You're learning from the best of the best, so that's how it is. It's just, you're always learning something. Even when you think you got something, there's always something more to learn, so that's, yeah.
Yeah, do you have any highlights of your career so far?
Oh my God, yeah. So just today is the 2-year anniversary of when I debuted at Kirken Hall in Japan, and I won my debut there. So that was 2 years today. Yeah, it's probably the biggest highlight. Yeah.
Now, what was that like wrestling in Japan?
It was scary as hell. It was very scary because I was very, very new. I still consider myself pretty new, but I was particularly new when I went to Japan. So it was a great experience overall. I look back on it very fondly.
Okay. Now, do you have anything you'd like to plug or add at all or anything?
Well, at the moment, you can just follow me on all my social medias. I am at GABBITY on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find me at Gabby Ortiz on Facebook.
Awesome. Now, thanks again for doing the interview.
Thank you, Top Rope.
Slay the day, baby.
Dragon Slayer Warrior Wear. Slay the dead.
Up next is another interview that I did with Onslaught. Thank you, Onslaught, for doing this interview. So without further ado, here's Onslaught. So this is Alan Fenstermaker here. I'm here with Onslaught. How are you doing tonight, Onslaught?
What's up, man? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How was your match tonight?
I'm happy. I mean, I'd be happier if I won, but it was a good match. Tony Cini really brought the fire, as he usually does. I have no complaints other than I wish I won.
Okay. Now, do you have any inspirations of wanting to become a pro wrestler?
Well, I'm 39 years old, and I'm about a year into the business. So that's it's a little late in life to really make a career out of it. I'm really in it for the experience, and I'm getting an experience. I'm getting to wrestle here in my hometown, Philly. I'm going to Illinois next week. Getting to travel, getting to meet and perform in front of crowds in different areas is really cool. Getting to see how different areas of the country like different kinds of wrestling, and really, being able to work them as a heel, and you know what I mean. It's just really cool.
Now, how do you like being a heel wrestler?
It's amazing. I'm it's totally the opposite of me as a person. I'm the nicest guy. There is a part of me that just doesn't like people. You know what I mean? I just, I'm leave me alone. But generally, one-on-one, I'm very cool, and I'm not a heel really. But getting in the ring and being able to do that gives me the opportunity to be that. You know what I mean? It's fun. I like getting booed because it makes the other guy look so much better. You know what I mean? You come out, you get everybody mad, and then the other guy comes out, and everybody's happy. It's great.
All right. Now, what's your favorite time period in pro wrestling history?
Oh man. Well, the era that brought me in was the Hogan era. I grew up in the 80s. Hogan and Earthquake was the feud that really brought me into wrestling. But early, the Undertaker Ultimate Warrior feud, that was amazing. I love the early 90s with all the cheap gimmicks, Papa Shango and all that crap. Attitude Era was fun. I was kind of off and on then. ECW, I honestly, like, I didn't get into that until after the fact, but I loved watching that back, you know what I mean? And so I'd have to go with probably like the early 90s, like the first, like when Undertaker was really taking off, you know, Razor Ramon, you know, the ladder match with Shawn Michaels, that was huge.
Now you mentioned the Undertaker. What did you think about the Undertaker versus Goldberg a couple weeks ago? Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sad, to be honest, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what Goldberg's excuse was. He got concussed or whatever, but I mean, it was just you could tell by Undertaker's look he was pissed off. But the cool story about the Undertaker was, growing up, my dad was a funeral director and my grandfather was too. So when I was like 8 years old when the Undertaker came out, so me and my dad were like, "Oh, this is cool," you know what I mean? Like, that's what you do, you know? You're an Undertaker. So, but yeah, that match was pretty bad, and you know, it was kind of cringeworthy watching that. But you know, I mean. I guess it would have probably been better left not done, you know, and rather have, you know, hopefully, thank God nobody got really hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Now, do you have anything else you'd like to plug or add at all or anything? Or?
No, just Onslaught, GTS Wrestling, Alan Fenstermaker, Top Rope Entertainment, right?
Yep, Top Rope
Modern
TV.
Vintage.
And Pro Wrestling Archives.
Yeah, next week in Illinois, I'll be in Illinois at Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling, so I'll see you there.
Awesome, man.
Thanks,
Thank
brother.
you. Cool,
yeah.
man. Cool. Okay, folks, up next is an interview I did with Andrew. He's from Wrestling IQ 101. So without further ado, let's get right to that one. Yo, this is Alan Fenstermaker here with Top Rope TV. I'm here with Andrew with Wrestling IQ 101. How are you doing today, Andrew?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
All right, now it's an honor to have you on the show. And can you tell the fans here, like, what gave you the inspiration to start your podcast?
To be honest with you, it was my buddy's dream to do something in wrestling, and I always wanted to do something myself. And sure enough, when this opportunity came up to do it, I was like, yeah, let's go for it. And ever since, we've been growing quickly, really quickly. So.
Now, who are some of your highlighted guests that you've had on your show?
Well, I just interviewed Kenta a couple weeks ago. That was cool. Wrestling superstar Virgil, Al Snow, Mick Foley. I interviewed Joey Janela. I mean, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee. I mean, it's awesome. Like, incredible people, you know. Yeah, so many people. Every week there's a new guest, and some card previews in between.
Now, what was that like when you interviewed Mick Foley?
Well, growing up, Mick Foley was one of my all-time favorites, so it was pretty cool to have. Like, I only had a couple minutes with him, but it was still pretty great. Like, it was awesome. I met him a couple times, but this was like a whole different level. Yeah, it was cool.
All right, now, like, where could people check out your show at?
Okay, well, you can check it right here on YouTube at Wrestling IQ 101. And you can check us out on the B Plus Player Network across all platforms, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcast you enjoy.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add at all? Or
if you just want to check out Wrestling IQ 101, we have new content every week, and you can subscribe anytime, and appreciate the time.
Awesome, and thanks for being on the show, man.
Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Andrew, for doing this interview. And guys, make sure you tune in to his podcast. Okay, folks, what you've all been waiting for. It's a match of the night tonight, an 8-man tag with our own Rick Smooth and Marvelous Mike Dalton on commentary. So without further ado, let's get right to that 8-man tag.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Marvelous Mike Dalton, alongside me, the King of Classic, Rick Smooth. And right now we have an 8-man tag team here at Modern Vintage Wrestling, Maximum Effort.
What a matchup we have here. 8 men, 1 ring here in South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I got to tell you, Mike, I'm here because I want to see some violence.
So do I. And I don't know if we're going to see it right now, but I know we got some hardcore stuff coming up for you here at Maximum Effort, Modern Vintage Wrestling.
Look at this combination of people in the ring right now. It's just absurd. Knowing who's who in this matchup, when there's 8 people brawling all over the ring, it's going to be hard to call, but luckily we got the King of Classic, Rick Smooth, here, because Mike Dalton's not going to do nothing besides look at his phone. But Rick Smooth is here to call the commentating.
Don't be hating on me because my ladies are blowing me up right now. So anyway, I guess we got a battle royal going on right now. So this is going to be pretty interesting, folks.
We are getting underway here, ladies and gentlemen. Always great coming back here to the gymnasiums, isn't it, Mike? Always adds to the sporting event atmosphere. And they're tying up now. Oh. Got him in that arm bar. Rolling through. Reversal. Great counter, Mike. Side headlock off the ropes. Oh, shoulder block takes him down. Leapfrog. Everybody's rolling around. Big arm track takedown.
They're going for a collar and elbow tie-up, but right now they're having a discussion. Ooh. Oh. Smacks him right in the mush.
Seems like it's becoming more common for the women to beat up the guys here in pro wrestling, isn't it, Mike? Mike Dalton is so into the match that he has no words.
That's the death god, Chris Walter, if you didn't know. Oh, Yakuza kick right to the face. Oh, my God.
That couldn't have felt good. Just throwing the woman into the corner, just chucking her around. Now we're going to have a fight. Feel like I'm watching an old Survivor Series 87 match. Big clothesline takes him down. Scoop slam. Holds him up. Ow, what a slam. Taking him down to the ground. Big leg drop. Big leg drop. I can't believe that woman is even standing, let alone still in this match, looking fresh. Big leg drop. Two count.
Two count only. And we got the Cage Fury Assassin right now up with a suplex. Oh, no, he's holding him up. He's making him think about it. And he drops him down on his head.
Great tag effort here. Now look at this. Oh! Just splashed him out of the corner. But they just couldn't get him away from the ropes enough, and he got that leg up. Very smart move there by the man. Big right to the face. The fans here in South Philly getting a little crazy. Oh, he just spit in his face. Oh, need him right in the breadbasket. Mike, I tell you what, man, when people go for the eyes, it's one of the smartest moves. It's one of the only places you get.
Vicious clothesline.
You get hit in the eyes, you get right in the eyes, you can't see nothing. You're ineffective in a match like this. Oh, just throws him into the turnbuckle, kicking him. Referee takes some order in this match. Look at this. Going for the suplex here. Some kind of variation. What is this? Oh, a Fisherman's Buster release. Taking him down. That could be it. 2 count. Big right.
And he goes in for the tag. In comes Chris Volta. Oh, boot to the midsection by Chris Volta. Oh, looks like Dave Dahl's getting in the fan of stand-up band. That's the South Philly Godfather. You don't mess with him.
Everybody wants a piece of the South Philly Godfather out on the outside in the wheelchair. I don't know what's going on here. Just shoulder block to the stomach. Whipping him out. Snap mare. He kicked him right in the back of the head. Big right. Looks like he might have got him in the back with that kick, but from the angle I'm sitting at, it looked like he got him right in the head. Vicious kicks. Just pounding on his face now. Look at this. Matches like this can just get out of control, Mike. You know, people start bleeding. People start, getting hit with weapons on the outside. You never know what can happen here in a match like this with 8 men.
Everything is always unpredictable in professional wrestling, especially when it comes to 8-man tag team. Always expect the unexpected.
Now, I guess we could call it an 8-man, but technically it's 7 men and a woman, isn't it, Mike? I mean, that's what I'm saying, but I guess you can't put that on the flyer, huh, Mike? Oh, what a spine buster. Somebody's coming in. Oh, he just speared him. Oh, whoa, what a great move that was. Oh, the X Factor. What is this? There you go. Some good teamwork there. Oh, just took out both of them. The big man in there. Oh, elbow to the back of the head. Look at this. No. Oh, what a roll through. He's bringing in the woman. Oh, moonsault off the middle turnbuckle. And what is she going to do now? Oh, some teamwork. Some kind of Kama Sutra slam. It's over. What an ending. Ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes it takes a good woman to beat a whole team, and that's what just happened here, Mike.
Never underestimate a short woman that knows how to wrestle, because that's what you get. You get schooled real quick, baby.
Sure did. She took him to school in this South Philly gymnasium.
Okay, folks, I hope you guys all enjoyed that match, and thanks to all our guests tonight for their interviews. But before we sign off, end with a brief, short segment. Take it away, Ian.
Zapper here. Oh my God, what a day for a photo shoot. I don't know though, where are these guys at? Shorty! Behave yourself. You've been zapped.
Anyways, that's all the time we have. So until next time, keep your wrestling in a headlock. We'll catch you next time on Top Rope TV. Peace.